The man in the picture is my father. He is a 27-year vet, recently retired. Well, I guess it's been about 5-10 years now. He served about 8 years in the Army, another 18 in the Air Force. Most of his time in the Army was spent in the 1st Cav Division, 1st to the 7th. Spent about 13 months in Vietnam, from what I understand. And then shortly after that, he did some other details with the Army before transitioning over to the Iowa Air National Guard, where he spent the last 18 years of his career before he retired as a Master Sergeant in the Air Force.
My grand-uncle Prince, he was in World War I, so he did Army intelligence. And I also have my other grand-uncle, his name was James Smalls, so he was also serving in the military. So definitely early on, much earlier than my time, but just history passed down. I think I'm the second one to join the Navy. So
there's a long history of military service in my family. Both my grandfathers served in the military. One Canadian. He served in the First World War and actually was a member of the battle at Vimy Ridge, which was a huge thing for Canada. My other grandfather served in the Russian Army during about the same period. Both my parents served in World War II. My dad was a Royal Canadian Engineer. He served through Normandy, through France, and Belgium, Holland, Germany. And my mother, she was in the Royal Canadian Air Force as a nursing sister, and she served through the war in the United Kingdom, and she worked in a hospital that looked after burnt and maimed pilots, both Canadian, British, and other coalition pilots during the Battle of Britain and afterwards.
There was always that presence, there was always that military bearing around the house, the order of things, the way he presented himself, and and I watched that growing up as a kid, and I watched his demeanor and his actions and all his time that he spent training the military. And I wanted me to follow footsteps, but of course, like any other kid, I wanted to be a pilot. And fortunately for my childhood, he was a recruiter at the time when I came of age, and so very conveniently, he pushed that as an option for me, and so I did. I chose to follow in the same base as he was, the Iowa Air National Guard, and then I transferred to the Arizona Air National Guard.
It gave me a sense of trying to carry on the tradition and represent my family as best as possible, and serving in the highest capacity.
We were raised with the idea of service to country. I was raised with lots of really good values. My parents made sure I had that, and I know that military service had a great part as well for them, and they passed that on to me. Since joining the military, of course, I've had colleagues who've died, or certainly many who have come back maimed, both in body and in mind, and helped look after their families. So remembrance isn't just about those who have fallen, and many have fallen and paid the ultimate sacrifice, but many, of course, many have come back who are broken in many ways, and to help them and to help their families is an important duty to uphold.
I'm real proud. This is my third tour, second one that I would consider a combat tour. I was in the rear for one, but never over Veterans Day, and that's a big day. That's a special day for me and my father, who's also a combat vet, and it's his birthday as well. So that's generally a day we like to spend together, and unfortunately I can't this year, but soon I'll be home after that, and we'll be able to reconnect. But it's a big day. I'm very proud to serve, because there's so many veterans here. There's so many people, even the civilians that were prior military, and even the civilians who aren't military here that can say that they're vets from Afghanistan. It's a special day to give thanks for what they've already done in the past, what they're doing now, and what the future vets will continue to do.
Definitely, to be in Afghanistan definitely gives me a sense of what a veteran has done for this country. All the wars, World War I, World War II, here, Afghan campaign mission. It's definitely gives me a proud moment to be a part of the military at this point in time in my life, and definitely my family members that served previously before me, and making my family proud. So it's definitely a good time.
You know what? I think he's a proud dad. He's my recruiter, so of course I send him the nasty notes back, blaming my recruiter for where I'm at. But no, he's proud. I'm in the Air Force just like he was, and I'm serving my country just like he did, and so many others in my family. I mean, we've had a male Robertson in every conflict/war this country's had. And so to add another one on is a big deal. And you know, my father-in-law, he's a combat vet from Iraq, also from Vietnam. And even my wife, she served a tour back in 2008. So it's a big military family. Anything we do for in uniform is a big deal to us.
I'm sort of a modest guy, and I think more of others. So I think more in terms of my grandparents and my folks. I know my youngest son, while I was here, he came home one day and announced to my wife Kathy that he has joined the Army Cadets, and he's all proud. And so since then he's got his hair cut and he's in uniform as an Army Cadet, and I can't wait to see him just to show my pride for what he's doing.
Veterans Day just gives more, it's more for the civilians, I believe, because in the military, you know, you come to work, you put in a uniform, you do your job, and you do it to the best of your ability, so it doesn't really seem as if you're a veteran. But when you're walking through the airports, going through the schools, and you're meeting the families that have service members or husbands or wives that serve, it reminds you that what you're doing is for a great cause, and you're protecting a lot of families back home.
Yeah, it's from an unknown author, but it goes something like this. It says, a veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who at one point in his life wrote a blank check to the United States of America for up to and including his life. And so I think, you know, as cliche as it may sound, has real meaning to it. I think everybody that has boots on ground in this country can appreciate that saying. So any day you walk out of the wire, or any day even when your base gets attacked, or whatever the case is, you've wrote your name on that check saying that you're prepared to fight for your country. And I think that's what Veterans Day is all about. And I think a simple thank you goes a long way on this special day.